Welcome again, friends. I hope I didn't scare you much on our last presentation. I wanna mention something to you to see if we are on the same page. What is the principle? Vegetarianism or being healthy with what you got around you? Being healthy with what you got around you. In last presentation, we spoke about protein. And one of the things that I forgot to mention to you was a story that I had many, many years ago. The story itself happened many, many years ago. And it was a doctor. And this doctor, he was a vegetarian, and he was a healthy man. And that doctor was an American doctor, and he moved into Australia. And when he moved into Australia, he started removing things from his diet, but nothing was replacing those things. He removed things from his diet, and nothing was replacing those things. And all of a sudden, it came a point in which he started showing signs of muscle wasting. And he started showing signs of extreme fatigue. You know, that doctor, a part of protein deficiency, he was actually showing signs of pernicious anemia. Pernicious anemia is not the type of anemia where your iron is low. That's why everyone, not just vegetarians, but everyone, when they have a blood test, they need to specify that they want an iron level reading and a vitamin B12 reading. Because the iron in itself only will give you a reading in a certain type of anemias. Vitamin B12 will give you a reading for pernicious anemia, for instance. Well, this man was actually developing this anemia due to vitamin B12 deficiency. And he was convinced that the principle was vegetarianism, and he actually decided that he was going to move from anything that was of animal origin. Now, I believe that you can actually live a healthy life and lifestyle away from all animal products, as long as you are actually replacing and you're actually getting everything that you need. Because if you're not getting everything that you need, you're just blinding yourself up, despite the fact that everybody around you can see you sick. And it was amazing because he received a letter from a friend, a lady in America. And this lady said to him, I want you to eat eggs from healthy hens. And I want you to crack the eggs into grape juice, mix it, and drink it. And I want you to take 3 times a day that recipe. Within a few days, he started feeling better. And within a month or so, he was just up in his feet. I think he was in his 40s or 50s, when this episode happened. This gentleman died in his 90s. Why? Because we need to actually be honest enough in all circumstances to look at ourselves in the mirror and say, okay, am I on the right track? Am I missing something? How can I supplement? How can I actually fill up the gap? How can I actually surround myself with something that is healthy, something that is within our limits, and something that is going to make me healthier so I can serve in this life longer. Is there a difference between dying at 50 or dying at 90? I'll tell you what. I'll tell you the difference. You will meet your grandchildren. You will go to their wedding, and they will introduce to you your great-grandchildren. That's a difference, isn't it? That's entire life, pretty much. Okay. Now, in this section here, heavy carbs versus slim fats. Now, sometimes what I have seen in people that have moved from a heavy meat-eating diet into a vegetarian diet hasn't actually been muscle wasting or losing lots of weight. Has actually been the opposite. I've seen people that relatively were slim, and then they enter into a vegetarian diet, and over the years, they became bigger. Why is that? Well, Carbohydrates provide a function in the body. They allow you to get the glucose, and from that glucose you will actually get the energy. However, if you're eating the same amount of carbohydrates, and then that a person that is chopping trees down every day, but you don't chop any tree down, you just go and sit down in front of your computer, guess what? That energy hasn't been used, so the body says, well, we use it later. Do you know how the body tells you that he has lots of energy that he's going to use later? It's called the love handles. They don't love you. You don't love them either, but I don't know why they call the love handles. Okay? What you see here is your body telling us, don't worry, you want to starve to death. We've got here a supply for over 40 days straight. Okay? Those are the supplies here. Now, how many here have heard of the word insulin? The hormone insulin. Okay. Raise your hand, please. Okay. Pretty much all of you. Now, how many of you have heard of the word glucagon? 1, 2. So, insulin, everybody heard of it. Glucagon? Oh, one person? 2 people? Is it 3 people? Very few. Guess what glucagon is? Glucagon is also a hormone as well as insulin. Insulin actually comes from the beta area, from the beta cells of the pancreas. Glucagon comes from the alpha cells of the pancreas. They come from the same place, from the same organ. And they have a very complementary function. However, all around you, you will hear the word insulin, but glucagon, nobody knows what it is. And that's why we go bigger and bigger and bigger. You know why? Because we forgot that we have another hormone called glucagon. What does that guy do? I'll tell you with a switch. We are going to illustrate to you with a switch. This is a switch. This is neutral, in which at this point your sugar levels are balanced and your energy supply is just equal to the energy that you require, and you are just nicely cruising along. When the switch goes this way, the switch is on a storage mode. That means that whatever you're going to eat, very little is going to go for energy, and the majority is going to go for storage. How does it storage? By fat. People say to me, I don't need any fat. Do you know that the body can actually store up carbohydrates into fat? The same way that later on, when it needs it, can transform fat into glucose. It can go one way, it can go the other way. I don't need any fat. How is it that I'm getting bigger? It's excess carbohydrates. Okay? Now, that's a storage. Storing energy that you're not using. Over here is called starving fasting mood. Starving fasting mood. You get it? Storage, energy levels balance, energy requirements and energy supply is balanced. In here, starving fasting mood. Okay. I go and I load myself with carbohydrates. You know, breads and pasta and all those things. Now, I just need to emphasize also one thing. We're talking about vegetarians, not granitarians, not graintarians, not pastanians, not, all right? Is vegetarians. What should be the emphasis? Vegetables and fruits. Okay? Now, I just load myself with carbohydrates. Guess where this switch goes? Storage. That means that from the very food that you just eaten, that is amazing amount of energy encapsulated in it, only a little bit is going to go for your energy production, and everything else is going for the storage. That's why you eat one of those big plates of pasta and you feel lethargic. Why? You just ate so much energy there. But the energy is not being transformed into energy for you. It's being stored for the future. So that plate of pasta is going to do to you what? You are going to get bigger. You are going to get bigger. And then what happens? You know, you ate at midday, for instance. Your requirements are lowering because you're not introducing anything in your body. And then your body starts panicking. Oh, I'm hungry. Oh, my sugar levels are going down. Oh, eat a biscuit, which is what? Carbohydrates. So it rectifies the sugar levels, but it puts you with more weight. After dinner, oh, I just need a little bit of snack just before I go to sleep. Boom. How easy is it going to be for you to lose weight? Boom. Your body is not going to let go of anything because your body is on a storage. It's not going to let go. And I've got many people that come to me, I've been trying this diet for a week. Will you believe it? I haven't lost 1 single kilo. Not if your switch is on storage. Now, look at it this way. You get up in the morning. You haven't had breakfast. When we use the word breakfast, we call it breakfast because it breaks the fast. That's where the switch is. Now, I got up this morning. My switch is down here. And I went for a run. What am I demanding from my body? Energy. I'm demanding energy. How much have I eaten? Only a glass of water with lemon. That's the only thing that I have eaten. I have put nothing in my body, but I'm requiring my body to give me energy. Where is he going to get it from? Who is going to give the command, start burning fat and give these guys some glucose through the fat? Who is going to give that command? Glucagon. Glucagon is going to tell the order, burn fat. So I just go for a run, and I'm demanding energy, and my body is going to get the energy from the fat, from the storage. Glucagon is going to be released into my blood, then the fat is going to be reconverted into glucose through the liver, and my sugar levels are going to be maintained the same. Why? Because it's providing the glucose through the fat by glucagon. Now, who tells the body, store? Insulin. Insulin tells the body, store. Now, how do we call insulin? Come forth. By consuming an overdose of carbohydrates. When we have a lunch or breakfast, with cereals, and we add some sugar and some honey and some all those things, we do this with our sugar levels. When our sugar levels go like this, we wake up insulin. And insulin will say, storage. If we manage to actually provide a diet that has the right amount of carbohydrates, that rather than the sugar levels going like this, they go like this, we are maintaining our switch in this area. So for instance, white bread will do this to your sugar levels. It will call insulin. Insulin will say, store, and you will actually put on weight. When you get the white potato will do like this. If you get the sweet potato will do like this. The sweet potato actually has what we call a lower GI. Like this. When you have a good salad and things like lentils, chickpeas, quinoa, buckwheat, can you see it? They just rise a little bit, but insulin is not yelling or screaming out. And then, if you start your day by drinking a little bit of a glass of water and then going for a walk, you're waking up glucagon. And for many of us, glucagon is not that we didn't know it existed. I think even your own glucagon didn't know he existed. Okay? Now, people come to us and say, how can I lose weight? You just need to wake up glucagon. And the reason why, the way you wake up glucagon is by preventing this high peak of carbohydrates. Your pastas, your white rice, your white potatoes. Now, that doesn't mean that we're never going to eat white potato. But I'm going to tell you one thing. You can have a lady that is trying to lose weight, and is trying to lose weight for 21 days, and she's doing fine, just like this. She's doing fine, just like this. And then she goes, oh, and I think it's time now for a plate of pasta. I'm just going to just enjoy it. And, I've been 21 days, I lost 4 kilos, so I'm just going to get the plate of pasta. So now, look at the switch. It was just that plate of pasta. And guess what? That switch is not going to just stay up for 24 hours. You're dealing with hormones. And hormones take about a month to start rectifying themselves. So you suffer for 21 days, you lost your 3 kilos. And it was just one plate of pasta that turned the switch up, and every single meal for the next 2 weeks are being consumed for storage. Even if you didn't consume the pasta. Because we're dealing with hormones, and hormones take about a month to rectify themselves. Are you following? Was that clear? All right, friends. So let me clarify it, because when I mention the word potatoes, and the potatoes do like this with your GI, and that actually makes you switch to go into storage. People say, "Oh, potatoes! Don't take my potatoes away." Now I'll tell you how you can actually make a potato, rather than doing like this, to do like this. Well, first of all, if you eat the potato by itself, we'll just do like this. If you put some kind of, my wife make like a cashew cream, savory cashew cream, with cashews. Now, and you get the potato and you put the cashew cream, even better. She makes like a sauce with lentils, and you open the potato, you put the lentils on top, and then you use that cashew cream on top. You just actually managed to do this to that potato GI. Just by adding other things to it, which are lower GI, you lower the overall GI of the entire meal. You understand what I'm saying? Okay? So, I will even go further than that. I personally don't use butter. Okay? I don't know where you guys are at. But if you, I need to mention to you, I don't eat butter. I don't think I've got a beautiful cook in the house that managed to actually provide for me beautiful meals without butter, and it's still nutritionist and so forth. But if you eat a potato just by itself, it will do like this. The GI will be high, your switch will go into storage, and that potato is going to put you on weight. But if you actually cut the potato and you put butter on it, it will actually lower the GI. And I'll tell you one thing, you will actually be putting more on weight with one single potato than with potato and butter. Because of the GI. Because you just manage, rather than doing like this, you just manage this one. I will recommend you to get hold of someone that knows how to do a beautiful cashew cream like my wife. I won't recommend you to get in contact with my wife, otherwise she will be on the phone all day and she won't be cooking for me. But But don't call my wife, call somebody that knows. So rather than just put in the butter, just you can use cashew cream or whatever. But the reason why I explained to you about the butter is so you can actually get the picture of how important is the GI. Now, I'm going to give you, for instance, something that is quite commonly bought in the shopping centers or the supermarkets. It's those biscuits. You look at the ingredients and it has white flour, 90-something%, water, and salt. Simple, isn't it? You don't get it simpler than that. Do you know what GI is in there? Very high GI. That will put you more on weight than a handful of activated almonds, despite the fact that the almonds have more fat in it. So if you look at the screen, it says not all carbs are the same. You need to get carbs from resources that try not to have much GI on them. GI is the glycemic index, and you can actually download a table from the internet, and that's when you will realize, for instance, that a white potato has more GI than a sweet potato. That's why people with diabetes will tell you, I can't have potatoes, but I can have sweet potatoes. That's the reason why. Because the potato is demanding too much insulin, while the sweet potato is not demanding as much. And because they're already struggling with insulin production, some of them, okay, because it's just, even within type 2 diabetes, there's two different subtitles of it, when it's insulin resistant and when it's a lack of production of insulin, okay? So they can have the sweet potato, but they can't have the potato. Can you see the difference? Now, in Australia, there are certain brands of potatoes that are subsidized. Unfortunately, they are the highest GI type of potatoes. There's a potato, for instance, called Nicolai. I don't know if you get them here in New Zealand. So if you get the standard white potato, the one that they use for chips, very high GI. The Nicolai potato is still a potato, but the GI is much better. So in my home, we actually eat potatoes. We put the cashew cheese on top and make like tacos, but just with the potato. But we use Nicolai potato, organic potato. And we use organic potato because we actually live in an area where they grow potatoes, but they are not organic, and we see what they do when they grow potatoes that are not organic. We thought, man, this is paradise. We live in the area of the potatoes. We're going to have so many free potatoes. But then you see how many times the plane goes over those potatoes, and how many times the tractor goes over those potatoes, and then how those potato plants are still alive. The farmer goes, checks the size of the potatoes, says, oh, that's the size that the big supermarkets want. And then they call the plane, and the plane sprites the potatoes and kills them. Kills the plant. So the potato stops growing. And because shops don't want potatoes like this, they look ugly. They just want potatoes like this. So the farmer goes, checks the soil, finds the potato, oh, that's the size. Come here, kill the plant. So they kill the plant, the potato stops growing. So anything that grows underground, especially if you can get a big sack of organic potatoes, carrots, potatoes, beetroots, we tend to go organic with those. Okay? Onions, we tend to go organic. Like not everybody can afford it, and for us it was a sacrifice also, but just being on that area, we made a conscious decision that, only the onions in our area, they get sprayed 30 times before harvest. 30 before harvest. All sorts of different things. So everything that goes underground, we actually go organic. Everything above ground, whatever we can afford. Okay, we grow some of the stuff ourselves. Now, so we just realized that carbs can actually make us fat. But now I'm going to show you how certain fats can actually make you lose weight. Studies are showing that a handful of almonds actually will lower your cholesterol and will actually cause you to lose weight. Hold on a second. Almonds are very fatty. They're mainly fat. But it will lower your HDL, which is actually a high-density lipoprotein, which is transport back the cholesterol buildup. And things like avocado, things like olives. Hold on, but they're fats. Yeah, but they will actually cost or will help glucagon. Remember glucagon? Now you will never forget that name. Well, it helps in the mission of glucagon to break down fat from the storage into energy. Things like coconut oil. Now, in regard to coconut oil, I'll have to say that it works fantastic to many people, and there's other people that it doesn't work that well. Did you get that? We need to be careful when we set up like a standard model printout, and now we get everybody from different cultures, from different backgrounds, with different illnesses, different status, and so on, and say, okay, this is the printout, boom, you follow the printout. There's some people that will thrive on certain things, and they won't thrive on others. You understand? So coconut oil is a fantastic fungicide when you take it internally, fantastic when you place it externally. However, it works fantastic in many, many people, but if it doesn't work for you, what do you have to do? You don't use it. I mean, that's why we said right in the beginning of the seminars, use your common sense. But this is fantastic, but it's not working for me. For whatever reason, it's not working for me. Okay? Fantastic oil, and this is actually an oil that in many people actually cause them to lose weight. It's a fat, but cause them to lose weight. Why? Because it helps in the breaking down of fat reservoirs in your body. While the carbs before were actually helping you to put on weight. Did you get that? Okay? Fantastic. Thank you for your attention, and I want to see you for the next presentation.